And DFW sports fans, we are back. DFW sports nerds, here to fulfill all your sports fantasies. My name is Lance Sanders. This is my co-host, Derek Finnan. We're here to bring you some comprehensible looks of the last couple weeks in the DFW sports scene. We cover each week the Cowboys, the Rangers, the Stars, the Mavericks. Nothing but local sports all the time here. We've got 3 segments today. Our first segment's going to be on the Rangers, and we're going to discuss what happened in the playoffs, what to look forward in the offseason now that, of course, they have been beaten, and, see what we think might happen next year with these guys. Our second segment today is going to be a joint segment with both Stars and Mavericks information. It's going to be a really cool segment. Stick around for that. Our third segment will be on the Cowboys this week. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a new quarterback. We'll be going over everything you can imagine. Thanks for tuning in. For Derek Finnan, I'm Lance Sanders, and this is DFW Sports Nerds. We're back. We're DFW Sports Nerds. As you can see, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're flying the big pink. We care about your breasts, women, and we just want to show our support. This first segment, we're going to bounce into the Rangers. Last time we were with you, the Rangers were... Where were we?
They were at the end of the season, the last go-around, and going into the playoffs, and they were tied in the series, and they were playoff-bound and playing good playoff baseball in that first series that they were able to get into. But they just the season was still unexpected, and to be where we got was unexpected. But at the other part of it, it was a slight disappointment the way the season ended.
We had the game won. I'll skip through the good and I'll skip through the bad, and we'll get straight to game 5 here. I am fucking sick and tired of Elvis Andrus and these guys on the team that play so nonchalantly and act like this isn't a big deal. They say that's the strength of their team. I think it's the weakness. It's bullshit. They jack around on the field. They jump up and down every time somebody gets a hit. They don't conduct themselves in a business-like manner. And I'm talking to you, Elvis Andrus. You fucking suck, man. You ruined the season for us by having your head up your ass. It all came down to your defense, and you blew it.
This was true. He had a colossal blunder. That down one inning. That was the season. That was it. And that Batista home run and his antics were self-loading in itself. More power to him. And
hey, fuck that guy too, man. That guy is an asshole. In any other time, I think that guy gets tackled before he gets to home plate for doing some shit like that.
It was what it was, and everything played out like it should have. And unfortunately, that lost inning by Elvis was a heartbreak to a other surprising season. Trying to just say, it's still, I'm a diehard fan just as you are of the Rangers, but just it is what it is. It's like I said, it's not life or death. It's unfortunate, and it's baseball. And unfortunately, he made colossal errors, but it was a collective team effort because he did have key hits during the year and won games to get to this point. So, I try to look at the glass as half full.
Well, I understand that, but I'm not talking about him as a player. I'm talking about him as a team leader. And the things that he's doing as far as, basically having a locker room that's really light, never remember the night before. Always bounce back. I see that, and I see that in him as a leader. But the way that they nonchalantly go about it, and the antics between him and Beltray all the time, it's like they're a bunch of little kids over there. This isn't a little kid sport, and it takes more than a little kid mentality. And I wonder if this team just needs a complete overhaul at the top where leadership is concerned. With guys like Beltray and Elvis, I just don't know if they're the guys to lead a clubhouse.
Unfortunately, that is what is available right now, and they're both into long-term contracts, if I remember correctly, by John Daniels signing of them and their extensions. But that's what's the team moving forward to this next season. And I mean, disappointment all around, but like I said, some positives did come out of it. They were able to win a West that was not theirs. Number one, they were able to get to playoff baseball. Number two, and they got things to build on. They got things to look forward to. Darvish being back possibly next year, having a killer rotation, possibly having 4 starting pitchers, 5 possibly starting pitchers who could legitimately all get you 15 games, maybe even 20.
You got to get Colby Lewis back, man. Colby Lewis is a free agent. Giovanni Gallardo's a free agent. I think we need both of them back.
Both of them need to come back. Yes, they solidify what would be a strong roster, make those key moves. Hope Daniel still open up that wallet. I don't know how long he got Camel signed to. Hamill.
We got him for 2 more seasons.
2 more seasons. That's 2 more seasons for Hamill. That's fine. Like I said, we got Darvish locked in for at least 4 more of those. Maybe an extension on it because of the injury plague to it. Like I said, getting Gallardo signed would be priority. And like I said, getting Colby Lewis signed would be a priority too.
Colby Lewis is the perfect number 3 or 4 pitcher in a rotation that eats 200 innings every year, gets, a lot of strikeouts, just is a great guy to have on your staff. Survived one of the most horrendous injuries in sports and still came back from it. I think the guy is what we're looking for.
I think everybody will be back on track, hopefully. And like I said, Natali Felice, those key opponents, like I said, don't know what they're going to do with Hambone. Hambone might have played himself out of the league, and he's going to have to take a reduction in salary, I would think, because his production.
He's going to make it through a torrentious offseason here.
And he's on up there now. He's mid-30s easily. Like I said, his production is down, like I said, and just the whole going to Anaheim and coming back. I'm a Hamilton fan. We all got skeletons in our closet. But like I said, he should take a reduction if his production does not equal the salary.
Yeah, absolutely. So to cap off the end of the year, we lose in the playoffs to the Blow Jays. Horrible game where we get beers and batteries and all kinds of shit thrown onto the field. They're horrible fans. Fuck them. I hate the way the season ended, but it's over, and we must move on. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back with you in a few moments.
I've been sleeping on the floor, counting tires, getting bored, and I'm wondering what tomorrow's gonna bring.
All right, we're back with you, DFW Sports Nerds here. I am Lance Sanders. This is Derek Finnan. This next segment, we're going to get into Stars and a little bit of Maverick talk. Just scratch the surface a little bit with them, but we're going to start with the Stars. Derek, what do you think about the team this year?
Hot start. They're off to a 5-1 start with 10 points already earned, tied at the top of the Western Division. They're starting off very hot. Like I said, from what we've seen with this team so far, the captains, Jamie Benn, Tyler Sagan, Littman is doing it in the goal. They are looking forward to making a real true fan hang in there with them for the full season and not just be there for the playoffs. A true fan got to start at least paying some kind of attention. You might not be into it every game, such as a Canadian person is with hockey, because we got other options in the United States. But they're starting off real hot, and it's making me interested right from the jump what this team is about.
Awesome. So tell me what the difference is between this year's team and last year's team.
They're more solidified. They were held out of the playoffs last year. They were just that close to nipping at and getting at the playoffs. They're a young team. They're solidifying. There's a couple of small veterans in there now. Not no Yaromir Yagers or any of those people that are 40-ish. But this team is young, and it was built from the inside. It was built from their actual farm teams and from the trade getting Ben here from Chicago.
Awesome. Yeah, I've seen that they busted out to a 5-1 record, which blows me away. I know they've got a big game coming up against Montreal, who's 7-0, and that will be a shootout for sure.
Yeah, and so far, like I said, Montreal is out there, the only team so far in the NHL, who have not lost one game as of yet into this young season, and it's early. I mean, it's fall in Texas, but it's still colder up north where all the established NHL teams were first located, the original 8. But we're part of this now. Of course, the Stars winning that way back in '99. But this is a young team that will compete, and if barring injuries, I see them going a long way. And so far, this season has started off with a bang.
Absolutely has. It's a pleasure to see good hockey, and we'll keep you tuned on that. I wanted to move into the Mavericks a little bit. It seems like all we got on our roster right now is Chandler Parsons, because he's under contract, and Dirk. Besides that, what else does this team have?
They got it's some moving parts. It's still infancy right now. The season hasn't started. As of right now, they sit at 0-6 in the preseason, and that's without their key components. They held out Chandler Parsons. They held out Dirk. Those key components did not play, but the Bereas and the Jenkins that's been showing up as of late, and they actually had somebody named Famous, as I saw on the roster. But so far, they're competing, but they're not getting the games done in the preseason.
Yeah, it's looking like this might be a tank year. I personally wouldn't mind seeing a tank year after seeing them be in the playoffs for the last 11, 12 years. They've had an amazing run. Maybe it's time to stop down and rebuild and just get into, a new phase of championship basketball there. I love Dirk Nowitzki. I still think he's got a good 3 years, maybe 4 left in him. He's about to pass Shaq in scoring, actually. I heard that the other day. Anyways, I really think that this year is going to be a down year for the Mavericks.
Unfortunately, they're not built for the long run. It's a shame having a Hall of Fame caliber career as Nowitzki has done and gave his whole career to the city of Dallas, and not to mention the Metroplex, Fort Worth included with that. But seeing him at the tail end of his career and not have the pieces around him to compete, it's going to make for a sad. I mean, I'm ride or die Mavericks regardless, but it's going to make for a long season if he don't have key people stepping up with him to try to at least make this contending basketball something that you can contend with, just making it an actual competition.
Yeah, I personally think that they might get, some parts in here that can make them a playoff team. But do I really want that? I'd like to see them rebuild personally. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, it might be rebuilding time. It's true. I mean, still let Dirk ride out his contract and finish his career as a Maverick. Don't do none of that other stuff and go somewhere else. You might as well. The man gave at least a better part of 17 years to the city so far. And like I said, it's going to look like a rebuilding year. All telltale signs so far in the preseason at 0-6 looks like it's going to be a rebuilding season. But the season is upon us. It's starting here shortly, and this is the team that's, whether you like it or not, this is the Mavericks.
Yep. That being said, we're going to move on to our next segment. Thanks for tuning in. Check out some tunes.
Well, I talked to the gypsy lady, and she told me, boy, you're lazy. Yeah, she said that I'd be better off drinking. So I took her advice. La, 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 ooh, gypsy lady.
All right, we're back, DFW. Thanks for tuning in. We are DFW Sports Nerds on your YouTube channel. I am Lance Sanders. This is Derek Finnan. And in this next segment, we're going to talk Cowboys, folks. I'm super excited. A lot of changes have happened at Valley Ranch over the last couple weeks. We've got some really important things to talk about. First of all, let's get right into it. Let's talk about Matt Castle.
Matt Castle's the new starting quarterback. He looks like he's got a stronger arm. He's got more experience than the man he's replacing. Wheaton is going back to the backup role, which shows that's this 0-3 that was under his tenure on this Cowboys quarterback.
It was horrible.
It was quite horrible, and you can see he had no punch. He managed the game, but he could not get it downfield. They put Castle in there up against a hungry New York Giants team who just got off that loss to Philadelphia, and it's for the NFC East lead so far, and the least beast of the East. And Castle's going to give at least more threat than anything that Wheaton could provide. He might provide the spark that might get this team to at least get there until Tony Romo and Dez Bryant, the other key components, come back to this offense.
So what I've heard out of New York, is that these guys are preparing for Tony Romo this week. They don't know what Matt Castle's going to bring, and what I've heard out of Giants camp is that they're acting like they're going to play Tony Romo because they feel like if they were able to defend Tony Romo, they'll definitely be able to defend Matt Castle. They've got a lot more tape on Romo, and they've definitely got a lot more film to look at as far as his techniques go. And if they prepare for Romo and they execute that game plan, they can win. They are at home. I hate that stadium. It's ugly as shit. It's brand new, too, and it's like an eyesore. It's in the pits of New Jersey. They can't even play in their own fucking state. So, anyways, I'm going to bounce a few things off you, Derek. What do you think about Castle to Terrence Williams? Do you think that they can make a connection this week?
They've had all week to run with the first team, and not to mention the bye week to get started. So hopefully they had a few more practices to put that in and get their timing down. Those crossing routes, those button hooks, the slants. Hopefully he's had time to make him and aware that in practice that he's his number one receiver, that would also be his number one receiver in the game. But knowing that Witten is there also and Beasley, knowing his check downs, and it's Tony Romo in his ear, which he's always anyhow. It's still run as if Tony Romo, like you said, that Tony Romo's still in there because he's in that ear being a part of the offense, almost being like another offensive coordinator from the sideline. You see him with the headsets on. He is in the quarterback's ear. He was doing that to Wheaton. He will do that with Castle, and he will try to guide this ship from afar, from the sideline.
I am really impressed with the Cowboys' defense, even though we have had a bad 3-game run. I think the defense hasn't really been the problem. There are certainly ways they can improve. I think that going up against a team the caliber of New England showed us that, yes, we can stay with them for 2 or 3 quarters, but in the fourth quarter, we're getting throttled.
But now, like I said, with Hardy and those other 2 key components coming to the defense, hopefully that steps up and be a part of it, making that pass rush, making sure that those receivers aren't getting open, that the safety's back there doing his thing, that also Carr is doing his thing, hopefully staying tight on that and being the number one corner. Maurice Curry-Blowing has finally stepped up a little bit. He still doesn't.
It's payday.
It's payday, yeah. He has to. Yeah. He's trying to do it for the contract. But like I said, if we can keep Hardy quiet. Keep that pressure on Eli Manning coming against these Giants this coming Sunday. It is what it is. Like I said, they can compete, but now that Castle's back there, like I said, the defense, it's solid. It's peaking probably at the right time. Hopefully, like I said, don't burn those corners. You got Victor Cruz probably being out on that outside for the Giants, and they got Odell Beckham in that one damn catch, and they still didn't win the game last year. So hopefully it's the same thing going up to the Meadowlands. This team playing good defense and getting the W and getting the hell up out of there.
Amen. This is the first winnable game that we've had since Tony went down. I think Matt Castle can step in and win this game if he plays to his abilities. We've got the possibility of Dez coming back. So with Dez and Terrence Williams and a strong line and your great tight end core of Escobar, Hannah, and Witten, all those guys can catch. We just need to get out there and get them the ball. If we can successfully pass the ball this week, we will win the game.
I think the offense is still hurting from the absence of Lance Dunbar. Also, Randall, hopefully he gets up and stepped up. Hopefully McFadden is putting the time in with the offensive plays and get his shares of the ball, but they got to do better on that running game too to eat up that clock. You don't want to have to play from behind, and you want to make this as simplistic as you can for Matt Castle, and that if we still establish that running game, the passing game will speak for itself. Those receivers will get open, the tight ends will be open, the blocking would be superb. But like I said, and it's going to be a hostile crowd. New York is New York. They not as bad as Philly, but it's still New York. It's still a shithole.
Absolutely, it still is New York Giants football, and they're very unpredictable. Have been since Eli got there. They're a great team one day, a bad team the next. They've definitely, proved themselves by winning a couple championships. Obviously, Eli has won more than his brother Peyton, so we can't take them lightly. We've got a game plan for these guys. Since we've been in a bye week, we've had 2 weeks to watch them. They did get their ass kicked last week in Philly. Maybe we can catch them coming in on a downward spiral and win this game. Derek, anything else you want to add?
I'm looking forward to this game. Don't know what the weather's going to be like. I should actually take a look and see if there's going to be a chance for any kind of rain or precipitation up in the Meadowlands. But looking forward to the game, and it's actually possibly optimistic what Matt Castle brings to the table. I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to offer to us guiding this team.
Yep, I'm looking forward to seeing the parts around him step up, because if they do, he will. This is DFW Sports Nerds. I'm Lance. This is Derek. Thanks for tuning in.